Welcome back to episode 3. This episode is all about best practices while working in a channel. We'll talk about mentions, notifications, emoji reactions, threading, and the National Weather Service weather bot. Let's jump in. As a reminder, here's where we are in the exclusive NWS Chat 2.0 videos series. I'm excited to share some channel best practices that'll help ensure success when communicating with each other and the weather service in NWS Chat 2.0. Let's start by reviewing mentions and notifications. Anytime you type the @ symbol followed by someone's name, you'll be able to tag people so everyone in the conversation can see exactly who you're talking about. Especially helpful when working with so many partners in NWS Chat 2.0. Tagging someone with a mention is also how notifications are sent in Slack. We'll review that in a second. If you want to tag more than one person, there's also a way to tag an entire channel. Typing @here before your message will notify all online members of a channel. You should use this in a message when you only need the attention of people who are actively working in the channel. This is great if you need to get a question answered quickly by folks who have Slack open. And typing @channel will notify all members of a channel, even if they are inactive and offline or don't have Slack open. It will trigger a desktop or mobile notification for all members of the channel, whether their availability is set to active or away. So typing @channel before a message has a bit of a broader reach. Please use these sparingly. We don't want to create a ton of unnecessary notifications, but they are definitely relevant during a severe weather event. If you need to ensure that everyone in a channel is notified of something important, please start your Slack message with @here or @channel. Using an @mention of someone's name, @channel, or @here is how notifications are sent in Slack. Before we get into notifications, let's revisit our sidebar. If a channel is not bolded in the sidebar, this means there are no new messages since you last visited. If a channel name is bolded, then there is a new message in that channel, so you want to ensure you check it out. If you see a badge next to a bolded channel, that means you've received a notification where someone either mentioned your name specifically or tagged the entire channel. Notifications are set by default for every direct message and every time you're @mentioned in a channel. If you download Slack for your mobile device, by default, all notifications you receive while the app is closed will be forwarded as push notifications to your phone. But those are the default settings, and the great thing about Slack is it can be customized to fit your working style. You can change those default settings for notifications here in your preferences. Once in the Preferences menu, you can adjust both the types of push notifications you'll get and when you'll get them. You can set up keyword notifications too, if you'd like. So this is great if you want to know if anyone says the word tsunami in any of the channels you're a member of. Based on the keywords you set up, Slack will alert you anytime they're mentioned. By default, only direct messages, mentions, and keywords will trigger notifications in Slack. You can actually customize specific channel notifications too. More to come on that in our next episode. While you're in Preferences, you can also change the sound that Slack makes when you have a new message. Something to keep in mind that's different from legacy chat is that when you have a channel open, Slack assumes you're up to date on the latest messages since you're seeing things as they come in. So you won't see or hear an alert if you're actively viewing the channel. For times when you need heads down focus, you can temporarily set Slack to Do Not Disturb from the user menu. This menu is also where you'll be able to access your Slack profile. As you start to collaborate and mention people in Slack, you'll notice some specific profile naming conventions. These are just a few examples of what you'll start to see in the platform. Note the differences between weather service, emergency managers, and folks from the media. We did this so you could easily and quickly recognize who you're talking to. In the example above, NWS Pocatello Pat White lets us know that Pat White is with the Weather Service at the Pocatello Weather Forecast Office. Let's move along to emoji reactions. Emoji reactions are a way to visually respond to a message without any typing. In NWS Chat 2.0, certain emojis mean different things. Reacting to a message with a set of eyeballs means, "I've seen this," or "I'm looking into it." And reacting to a message with a check mark means, "This has been completed," or "This question has been answered." If you're working in Channel and you send through a photo or document from the Weather Service to review, you'll notice they'll toss on a set of emojis to indicate, "Hey, thanks, I see this." So it's meant to be a really quick and easy way to communicate that you've seen something or are looking into something. To emoji react, you'll hover over a message and either apply a default emoji or find another emoji you'd like to use. Let's take a look at the WFO Topeka, Kansas channel to see how emergency managers utilize emoji reactions to respond to messages from the Weather Service. In this interaction, Catherine is a forecaster and Lorena is an emergency manager. The eyes on Catherine's message let her know that the image was seen by Lorena. Instead of typing out and sending a message that says, "I see this," Lorena hovered over Catherine's post and selected the eyeballs. She also had the option to add different or additional emojis by selecting Add Reaction. If you're working in Slack and already see the emoji you want to apply in use, you can just click it right under the message to add the reaction. Let's move along to threads. In Slack, threads keep conversations organized by connecting responses to the context of the original message. It's sort of like a conversation within a conversation. Threading a reply isn't always necessary. In fact, we do not recommend threading when communicating around a severe weather event. It's critical that we don't allow important information to get buried, so please use good judgment and do not thread during a severe weather event. Let's go back to the WFO Topeka, Kansas channel to see how someone might thread a conversation. Let's say I wanted to make a comment about the previous daily record high. I could hover over this message, select the Reply and Thread button, and add a message. I could even @mention another colleague if I think they'd find this interesting. Now, my comment is tied to the original message in a reply. Threading is sort of similar to replying to an email versus starting a brand new email. But remember, do not use threads during severe weather events. We don't want important information getting lost and buried. Today, we have discussed emoji reacting, threading, and app mentions. How can these help us keep track of our messages on our sidebar? At the top of your sidebar, there is a dedicated section for these very features that is updated automatically as you interact with folks in Slack. Anytime you have a new thread, threads will be bolded. Similarly, mentions and reactions will be bolded anytime someone mentions you specifically or emoji reacts to a post you authored. And lastly, if you want a feed of all your unread messages across all conversations, you can click More on your sidebar, then select Unreads. From there, you'll see unread messages across all the channels you're a member of. Next, let's discuss the WeatherBot. WeatherBot is a replacement for the NWS bot in the legacy system that most of you are already familiar with. With NWS Chat 2.0, when you are in an active warning situation, WeatherBot will automatically let all the users in a channel know when a warning has been issued. Because of the power of Slack, the opportunity for greater innovation with the WeatherBot is there after the initial operating capability is fielded. As you can see in the image on the screen, the full text of the product as a reply is displayed right in channel in the new NWS Chat 2.0. Your local admins are responsible for configuring the WeatherBot, so be sure to keep an eye out for it. Here are the key takeaways from this episode. First, use mentions or the @here and @channel commands to get people's attention. Next, lean on emoji reactions to indicate you're looking into something or to give someone a thumbs up. Emoji reactions are such a light lift. And when not in a severe weather event, use threading to help keep conversations and channels organized. Lastly, keep an eye out for the weatherbot in your channels. Please join us in the next episode where we explore ways to customize and personalize Slack. I'll see you there.